Namaste. Welcome to yoga, to your own sweet self here on the mat. Today we're going to work with some grounding practices in our body, our breath, our awareness. And as you may know, grounding is the province of the first chakra. So chakra in Sanskrit means wheel, a turning or spinning wheel or vortex. And there are thought to be about 7 of these spinning wheels, these convergent centers of energy mapped along our human spine from the crown, the very top of the spine, all the way down to the bottom. And the base of the spine is the place of the root chakra, Muladhara, or the first chakra. And the first chakra, this base of our spine, is our foundation. It's our anchor. You might picture like a deep tap root connecting the base of our spine down, down, down to the core of the earth. And this concerns our basic needs to survive and how we do that, and our sense of belonging, our right to feel like we belong right here, where we are, exactly as we are, that's our birthright. Anatomically, at the base of the spine, we often call it the pelvic floor. The actual anatomy is the perineum. It's the space between the genitals and the anus. So that's like the floor of our spine that roots down into the earth. And there are a number of ways to connect with the first chakra, many, many. One way is through the breath. So you're probably aware of this, but I just want to scaffold it in our awareness for this practice. So we have a respiratory diaphragm, which is this domed muscle that connects to the insides of the ribs. And on the inhale, the respiratory diaphragm moves down into the abdomen. It actually moves the organs away a little bit. And on the exhale, it comes back up to its resting position, its sweet dome. So many of us were taught to like hold our bellies in or sort of constrict here. So we often feel more of our breath, even though the diaphragm is coming down. We're much more subjectively aware of breath coming up. No problem with breath coming up. That's for sure part of breathing. But there's also this downward movement. And when the respiratory diaphragm on the inhale moves down, creates this wave energy breath motion, the first chakra, the pelvic floor, passively responds by just widening and opening, right? It's receiving the breath. So you could picture, let's see if I can do it with my hands, as the diaphragm, respiratory diaphragm comes down, the pelvic floor widens and expands. And on the exhale, they both come back up to their resting place. So we'll just see if we can connect with this at all during our meditation as we set up this grounding practice. I would love for you to have 2 blocks, please, for this practice. A strap or something strap-like, something long that you can use to extend your limbs. And then, of course, something to sit on. And for this practice, I'd like it to be a blanket or a towel, because we're going to sit on it to elevate our hips in the beginning, but we're going to roll it up and use it for a support under our feet towards the end. So something you can make at some height. It could just be a blanket. It could be a blanket and a block. Such that this tendency we have because of our tight hips and hamstrings, right? We can actually draw the sacrum in beneath the spine and set up our first asana or seat as we sit and breathe for a few moments together. So find that first comfortable seat, if you would, sitting on something. Most of us need to. Wiggle around, get settled in, make sure you have your goodies nearby. And then let's make that sweet turn, closing the eyes, coming within the body, the being, and just landing right here. So just take a few gentle breaths to settle in. Feel your sit bones, right, the base of the spine rooting down into the earth, almost like we're standing on our sit bones. To gently rise the spine tall, you might just shift a teeny bit forward or back or side to side to find that plumb line, that beautiful straight vertical from the earth up into the sky. And then take a sweet, deep inhale. And on your exhale, relax your shoulders down. Relax your thighs down. Relax the feet, the toes. And from that base of the sit bones, the heavy thighs, the relaxed feet, just feel the lightness of your torso rise. Up into the lightness of your face. Allow the muscles around the eyes to soften. Relax the cheeks and the jaw. Allow the tongue to be passive, just gently drawing in and resting. And really relaxed from tip to root. And from there, just bring your awareness to your belly. And just gently watch the natural inhale and exhale. And as you stay and watch, can you bring your awareness down to the pelvic floor, the perineum, and just see what you notice on the inhale. If you allow the belly to be a little bit soft, do you notice any response in the pelvic floor to the inhale, maybe a gentle opening and widening? And then do you notice any response on the exhale? And maybe just see what it's like to bring your awareness to this part of your being. We're not invited to pay attention to our pelvic floor very often, but it's such a grounding, sensitive, aware part of our being. So even if it feels a little taboo, allow the breath to move and just observe. Just acknowledging whatever you've observed, letting it become part of you, moving your awareness up to the center of your chest, staying soft, riding the breath. We're just going to lift our palms, move them into the center of the chest, touching one another, feeling the goodness of your own touch. Staying soft, staying supple. Let's take a deep inhale, filling the body all the way up. And then on the exhale, slowly bowing the head down, down to the wisdom of the heart. And on your next inhale, slowly bringing the head back up, releasing the hands down to the thighs, and opening the eyes. Lovely, thank you. So we're going to come down on our backs, and can you please have a block and a strap nearby? We won't use them right away, but we'll need them in a moment. Just come down on your back, hug your knees in, give yourself a little squeeze if you want to rock forward or back or side to side. Just a little loosening of the sacrum, landing on the earth here on our backs. And then we're going to keep hugging the right knee in. Bring the left foot down, just clasp your hands in front of the right shin, and then you're slowly going to extend the left leg long, flex the left foot. And as you stay here and breathe, gently draw that right knee just a little bit down and in. And as you do that, if you could send your right sit bone towards your opposite heel. So you're pressing your sit bone away as you draw the knee down to keep that right side long. Maybe both feet are flexed. Okay, we're going to rebend that left knee, the left foot's flat, extend the right flexed foot up, and then reach up with your right hand and find a half happy baby. So hand can be outside the ankle, or maybe you can catch the outside of the right foot. And can you gently draw that right knee down? See if you can keep the natural curve in your lower back. It's a little challenging here, but just so you're not super flattening the sacrum. Breathe in and out through the nose. Face is soft. And then take an inhale here, and on an exhale, just allow your whole body to roll to the right. So the right leg comes down. You might bring your left knee down on your right inner thigh. The head relaxes down. Just kind of land. Give your weight to the earth. Take a few breaths. What is it like to yield, to allow our weight to be supported by the earth? And then take an inhale here, and on your exhale, come back up to center. Inhale here, and then you're going to change hands as you cross the right foot across, and we're just going to find a gentle twist. Both knees are bent, allowing that right foot maybe to come down. You can use a block underneath the foot if it doesn't quite reach the floor. And then just draw that right shoulder blade down. Allow your face to be soft. Feel where your weight is resting deep into the earth. Allow it to sink. Just breathe into the lightness of your front body. And then take an inhale here, and on an exhale, come back up to center. Bring that right foot down. Let's hug the left knee, clasp in front of the shin. Draw the knee in, and we're going to extend the right leg long, both feet flexed. Now you're drawing the left knee down and in towards the side ribs, but can you also actively move that left hip, the sit bone, down and away towards your opposite heel? So you're not crunching through that left side body. Seeing if you can keep the natural curve of your lower back. And then we're just going to bend the right knee, flat foot on the floor, extend the left foot up, reach up with your left hand, catch the ankle or the outer foot. You might rest your right hand on your belly and just play with this happy baby. It seems like it should be easier because it's just a happy baby, but I actually think it's much more challenging. So we're not forcing anything, right? We're listening to our body through this whole practice. We're encouraging, we're being firm, we're being resolute. We're finding edges, but we're not forcing anything. Take an inhale here, and on an exhale, just allow the body to roll to the left. Just even a little bit of like a flop. You might close your eyes for a moment. Allow your weight to rest into the earth. What is it like to actively yield, not holding anything up? And take an inhale here. And then on your exhale, move up to center. You're back in your half happy baby. Change the hands as you cross that left leg, finding your gentle twist. Both feet flexed, both knees bent. And once that left foot lands on the floor or a block, just draw that left shoulder blade down. And keep the gaze neutral, keep the face soft. And just breathe and see what's here. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, come back up to center, and we're going to release that left foot down. Now, if you'd find your block, we're going to place it the long, narrow way between the knees. We're going to bend the knees so the shins are perpendicular, that parallel or perpendicular with the mat, and then the thighs vertical. Reach your arms out to the side. Hug the block between the knees. Draw the heads of the femurs down into the hips. Engage your belly. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, you're going to bring your right arm under for eagle arms, Garudasana. 1 or 2 wraps with your arms. Keep hugging the block, and you're going to gently draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Lift the elbows and move your hands a little bit away from your face. Take an inhale here, and on the exhale, just curl up. Inhale slowly down. Exhale, curl up, draw the belly in, and just keep it going gently. Each time we come up, we draw the belly in. We're still hugging the block. Some space under the chin and the neck. You might just keep your gaze towards your hands. And just finding that sweet center of the core. Each time we come up, a few more. Okay, one more. This time when you come up, if you stay, see if you can breathe. Draw the belly down. Press the block between the knees. Firm the whole core, the whole midline. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, feet come down, hands open wide, and just take a breath here in constructive rest, noticing whatever you notice in your body. And then we're going to take an inhale, and we're going to exhale, and we're going to bring the left arm under and find Garudasana, arms on the left. Bend the knees, flex the feet, hug the block. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, slowly come up. Inhale down, exhale, little press the belly, lift, and then just keep it going at your own pace, following your breath. Maybe you're starting to feel a little heat. Drawing the belly in, keeping the natural curve of your lower back if you can. Okay, we're going to come up one more time, and this time just hold. Draw the belly down, press the block in, hug your outer legs, your outer hips. Take an inhale, nice. Exhale, feet come down, back comes down, open up the arms. Take a breath here. Then keeping the block between the knees, hands behind the thighs, we're going to rock the knees back and then come up slowly into our Navasana boat pose. And can you draw the back body into the front body? You can start by hands behind the knees, or you can just hold these tendons. Can you lift the chest? You can point the feet, you can flex the feet, you could floint the feet. Stay here or maybe reach the arms forward. We're still pressing the block. We're drawing the back body into the front body, lifting the heart. Some of you who have open hamstrings might even play with straightening the legs just for a breath or two, and then rebending them. And then we're just going to slowly come back down. Constructive rest. So we're going to take the block out, and let's find our strap. And we're going to place the strap around the arch of the right foot, between the heel and the arch, and hold one piece of the strap in each hand. And then I'd really like just for you to have your leg vertical if you could. So you're working on opening the back of the right knee. We're not drawing the leg down towards us. We're pressing the foot, inner and outer foot, straight up to the sky, opening strongly the back of that right knee. And then can you draw the head of the right femur down into your hip socket as you press that right hip down towards your opposite heel. So again, you're pressing the sit bone towards the wall at your feet to lengthen through the right side, creating a lot of space in the hip socket as we open the back of the leg. Okay, let's take both bits of the strap in the right hand. We're going to bend the left knee a little bit more so the knees are aligned. Externally rotate your right foot, and then slowly we're going to externally rotate the hips at the same time. So we've got a straight right leg. We've got a bent left leg. We're keeping the natural curve of our lower back. And see if you can go evenly. So you're balancing right to left. You're pressing through the inner right foot. So you're finding that long inseam through the right leg. Notice if you're pressing your sacrum down, can you just find that natural shape of your lumbar spine? And we're opening both inner thighs and breathing. Seeing what's right here. One more breath. And then we're slowly going to bring both legs back up, staying even. Nice. Release the strap, bend the right knee back down. And just take a moment to see what the two sides feel like. You might notice a difference. And then let's go ahead and take the strap around the arch of the left foot, back towards the heel this time. Hold a bit of the strap in each hand. And again, really see if you can get that left leg straight. We're going to keep the right knee bent. Can you press up through the inner and the outer left foot? As you draw the head of the thigh bone down into the hip socket. And as you press, see if you can find it. Press that left sit bone towards the opposite wall at your feet, lengthening through the left side, reaching through the back of the left knee, reaching through the inner left foot. Still having that natural curve in the lumbar spine. Nice. Now let's take both bits of the strap in the left hand, bend the right knee a little bit more so the knees are at the same place. Externally rotate that left foot. And now slowly we're starting to open both thighs. Notice if your sacrum wants to flatten. See if you keep that gentle arch, reaching through that inner left foot, opening both knees at the same pace to stay balanced. And then just see what's right here as gravity helps a little bit differently, right? With each of those legs, they're in a different shape. Breathing open the inseam of the left. One more breath here. And then slowly bringing both legs back up to center, releasing the strap, bending both feet down. Let's move the strap to the side. And now just take a moment to feel the two sides of the body. And then we're going to take our hands behind our thighs and we're just going to rock and roll forward and back a couple times. Little roly-poly on the spine. Could be just a tiny bit, or it might be all the way back to the shoulders. Let's do one more. It feels so good. Yep. And then come on up. You're going to swing your legs around. And let's find our all fours. Wrist creases under the shoulders, knees hip distance under the hips. Spread the palms. Get your wrist creases parallel with the front of the mat. And then on an inhale, slowly start to let the groins go back. Open the heart. Maybe the gaze lifts a little bit into cow. And on an exhale, pressing and rounding back into cat. Inhale, slowly coming forward, opening the front of the body. Exhale, pressing and rounding, opening the back of the body. Big arch, and a couple more on your own. Let the breath lead you. And just gently follow and see what's here. And then slowly coming back to a neutral spine. Now let's find our two blocks in case we need them, because this is a challenging pose for many people. And I want to make sure you have your blocks in case you need them. Let's have them shoulder distance at the front of the mat. We're going to open our feet. I know, I'm sorry. So we're going to flex our toes strongly, bring the big toe mounds together, the knees together, and the heels together. And some of you, you're going to come and you're going to say, wow, I need these two blocks. And this is as far as I'm going, because we don't want to be in extreme pain, but we are opening our feet. So there will be some sensation. Some of you whose feet are more open, maybe you practice this more often, you actually can bring your spine up over your heels. And then the work to refine the pose is to draw the belly in, draw the floating ribs in, slightly shear the chin back, and just be here and breathe wherever you are. So these feet, right, are grounding points as we stand and walk, how we stabilize. They contract a lot, we use them a lot, we rely on them. And how lovely to open them once in a while or rub them with oil at the end of the day. Give them a hot soak. So just a few more breaths. Breathing open the bottoms of the feet. Can you send some breath right to the soles? Nice. And then slowly coming forward, either off the blocks or just bring your hands down, untuck the toes, and if you'd like, just tap out your feet. That can feel really good. And then we're back to all fours. Tuck your toes, move your knees back a couple inches. Now re-spread your palms, your fingers, your hands, straight arms. Slightly roll your triceps down. Keep all of that as you lift the hips up and back. First, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And so often it's nice to move around a little bit in this first dog, but if you're willing to try today, just come right into stillness. See if this can really become a grounding pose right away. So you're really pressing through the knuckles, the palms, the fingers, and you're pushing the mat forward and down to open up under the armpits, open up the shoulders, long line through the arms and the torso. And you're reaching the heels down as you press the upper thighs up and back, opening the backs of the knees, lifting the hips, breathing everything open. Gaze is back between the feet. Being here and breathing. Noticing the grounding in your hands. Can you send roots down into the earth from your hands? Noticing the grounding in whatever part of your feet are touching the mat. Can you root down? Can you find balance between the hands and the feet? And then we're just going to slowly walk the hands back to the feet. Make sure your feet are hips distance, parallel. Put a little bend in your knees and then hang forward. Clasp opposite elbows. Let the torso, the elbows, the head be heavy. Hanging down. Sweet release for the lower back. Then change the clasp of the elbows. Maybe start to straighten the legs or not. You can start to straighten them a little bit, or you can really lift the hips and open the backs of the knees. Still weights in the elbows, drawing the torso down. And then release the hands down. We're going to reach our hands behind, interlace the fingers, press the palms together if you can, bend the elbows, draw your shoulder blades on your back, draw your elbows towards each other, and then stay right there, or maybe start to straighten the arms a little bit as you keep reaching the crown of the head down. You're welcome to do this with as much bend in your knees as feels good on your body. And then just bring the hands back to the lower back, change the interlace, bend the elbows, draw the shoulder blades on the back again, and then maybe a little bit of extension or playing with bending or slightly straightening the knees. Smooth, even breath in and out through the nose. And then bring the hands back and down, all the way down to the earth. Now pick up your head. We're just going to walk back out to our dog, but stay on your fingertips. See how much weight you can keep in your heels. Stay grounded back in the legs, only shifting the weight forward as you have to, as the arms reach forward into your Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then on an inhale, we're going to come forward into our plank pose. So straight arms, wrist creases right beneath the shoulders, straight legs reaching back through the heels. Can you reach forward through the crown of the head? The gaze is slightly forward, and then draw the belly in and under the heart to lift the pose from underneath. There's the slightest protraction in the upper back. Then we're going to come an inch forward. You can drop your knees or straight legs. We're just going to come to Chaturanga for one breath. So slowly, halfway down, hugging the elbows in line with shoulders. And then let's come all the way down. Untuck your toes. Really nice. So we're going to spread our arms out to the side. Bring your forehead down. Really reach your right arm as far as you can out to the right. Fingertips down. Come to your left tented fingertips right by the side of your shoulder. And then you're going to bend the left leg and you're going to roll onto your right hip. Reach that right arm out and maybe play with bringing the foot, the toes, or maybe even the whole foot down behind your right thigh. You can walk your tented fingers in, really reach that right arm, line up your body, and just play with breathing open the shoulder right here. If you're feeling a little sassy, you might want to bend that left leg. This is just for those of you who are in a circus mood. And then you might extend the left leg, find the big toe. You might open that left leg as you open the right shoulder, but that's not necessary. Just see what your desire is in this moment. Breathing open the shoulder. Being right here. If you've caught that toe, rebend that leg, the foot comes down. Let's all roll back on our belly. Forehead comes down. Both arms out. Reach that left hand out. Tent your right fingertips. Bend the right knee. And then roll on that left hip. Keep crawling the left fingertips out. Play with that right foot coming down. It can be the toes, might be your whole foot. Go gently, finding your way into that left shoulder. Stay here, or if you want to play a little bit, maybe bending that right knee up, reaching up, seeing if you can find the big toe. Breathing, opening. Listening to your body. If you've got the foot, let it come down. Let's all of us roll back on our belly, arms out, forehead down. Nice. Feet together, really strong straight legs. Interlace the hands behind the lower back again. Press the palms together. Lift the shoulder blades on the back, elbows bent towards one another. All 10 toes down, and draw your tailbone long towards the back of your heels. And on an inhale, come on up, Shalabhasana. I know I give all those instructions before we move because I'd like for us to be aligned, right, when we come into the pose, rather than trying to fix it once we get here. Lift the heart. Reach the hands back. Now stay right here, but release your clasp. And you're just going to hover your hands, flat palms, right by the lower ribs. Hug the elbows in. Take one more inhale, and then slowly come down. Place your hands right where you have them by your lower ribs. Super straight legs. Draw the belly in. Inhale, come on up. Find your cobra. Elbows in. Shoulders down, lifting the heart. Slowly come down. Take a breath. Press the hand. Inhale. Come back up. Bhujangasana Cobra. And stay right here, or you might continue pressing the hands. Come to the tops of the feet. Bring the chest through. Shoulders down. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Upward facing dog. And then slowly lift the hips. Press up and back. Downward facing dog. And then on your next exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Let's step one foot and then the other to the top of the mat, the feet together. We're going to inhale, come halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. So take a breath or two here. Place your hands somewhere where you can really lengthen the spine. Take the roundness out of it. So it could be thighs, shins, or maybe the fingertips come down. You could even use your 2 blocks. Take an inhale here, grow even longer through the spine. And then as you exhale, keep that length and fold in. Uttanasana. Inhale halfway up again, long spine. Now support yourself as you bring your hands to your hips, elbows in, and then slowly come all the way up. Really nice. We made it to standing. Big toes touch, heels are slightly apart. Press your palms together and find your Tadasana, mountain pose. So lift your toes for a moment and see if you can find all 4 corners of the bottom of the feet. Big toe mound, baby toe mound, inner and outer heel. Bring the toes back down. Can you slightly shift the weight into the heels as you spin your inner thighs slightly back and draw your tailbone long down to the heels. Gaze is on the horizon. And then on an inhale, reach out and up, maybe look up and touch. And on an exhale, slowly fold forward, swan dive all the way down. Inhale halfway up. And then exhale, we're going to step the right foot all the way back and find your long lunge. So step that foot back far enough. You can start to let the hips come down. You've got that length. We're looking for a right angle in that front knee. The weight's in the front heel. And we're drawing that left hip back and in to keep length through this left side of the body as we reach back through the back heel. Forward through the crown of the head, slightly lifting the sternum. And then we're slowly going to let that back knee come all the way down. So pat it if you need it. And then we're going to inhale, come on up, Anjaneyasana. So we're drawing the tailbone down, lifting the lower belly, reaching up through the sides of the waist, into the arms. Maybe starting to look up. Maybe the palms touch overhead. Take an inhale here. And then on an exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take another inhale, and on your exhale, twist to the left. And then slowly start to come down into your prayer twist. You can use that left hand outside the thigh if you like to really nestle that elbow on the far side of the knee. Press the palms together. Lift the heart towards your pressing palms. Reach out through the crown of your head and stay here or play with just straightening that right leg. If you're not resting on that front thigh, you're finding your twist and your length. And then slowly rebending that right knee down. Inhale, come back up to center. And then exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. We're going to flex the front foot, shift the hips back, and just find this gentle Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. So this is a great place for 2 blocks if you want to bring yourself up to really find length in your spine. So you're sending the hips back both actively, right? Uncurling the tailbone, lengthening through the spine, reaching your heart towards that front big toe, and breathing. One more breath here. And then inhale, bring yourself up, bend that front knee, Straighten the back leg. Plant your hands on either side of that front foot. Step back, find your plank. You can go straight to dog or come forward. Halfway down Chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just land here again in your body. And then bring the feet together at the back of the mat. We're going to inhale the right leg straight back behind. Just take a few breaths to even the weight right to left in the hands. Get the hips even. So all the toes on that right foot starting to point down if they can, no external rotation. And then once you have that, ground through the left foot, then open your right hip. Stack it on top of the left. Maybe bend that top knee, look under the right armpit, and then see if you can curl your tailbone. So draw it long, like you're hooking it underneath your pelvic floor. Find all that length, breathe it open. And then keeping that, slowly re-extend that right leg. Bring the right hip down even with the left. Take an inhale here, find length. And then exhale, come forward, knee into chest as you look down. Get the shoulders right over the wrist creases. Draw that knee in. And then slowly step the right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Find that long lunge. And then set it up. The weight's in the front heel. Reaching back through the back heel. But then drawing that right hip back and in to lengthen the right side of the torso. Hips are sinking. Gaze is slightly forward. Lifting the sternum long through the spine. And then slowly that back knee comes down. Use your blanket to pad it if you need it. And then inhale, come on up. Asana. So we're letting the pelvis sink down and forward. But we're reaching up from that grounding, up through the side body, the arms, up past the fingertips. Maybe the palms touch overhead. Take an inhale here. And then on your exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take another inhale. And then on your exhale, twist to the right. Start to come forward and find your prayer twist. Again, feel free to use that right hand outside the right thigh. You want to really nestle that elbow across. Draw both hips back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Lift your heart towards your joined palms. And then stay right here or play with extending that left leg long. Hovering right above the right thigh. Crown of the head reaching. Twist and breathe. Slowly bringing that back knee down. On an inhale, come up to center. And then on an exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Flex the right foot. Shift the hips back. How much length can you find? Sending the hips back. Reaching the heart forward. Again, feel free to use your blocks. See what you can find here in that right hamstring. We're not forcing anything. We're finding these sweet edges where we open just a little bit more. And then slowly rebending that front leg, straighten your back leg, and then step the back foot forward to meet the front foot, feet together. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, leading with the heart, like you're moving through water all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, step the left foot back, long lunge. Now move your right foot a little bit to the right. Come down on that back knee. Again, pat it if you need. And then we're going to take that front foot, we're going to turn it out slightly, and we're going to come to the outer knife edge of that foot. And then you're welcome to use a block at any height inside that right foot. We're just going to come down and find this lizard. You might need to adjust that back knee. Some of you are going to actually realize you may not want a block, or some of you are going to realize you might want your block a little bit higher. So can you just be here, settle in, feel the ground beneath you, right? Gravity hugging you to the earth. And then whatever gentle opening is happening as you stay here and breathe. One more breath. And then come off your block. Parallel your front foot with the side of the mat. straighten your back leg. Make sure you've got hips distance between your feet. Get stable here, and then you're just going to inhale, come on up, Crescent Lunge. So we just start finding our way in crescent. Eventually we bend that knee more and more towards 90 degrees. Might work on straightening that back leg a little bit or a lot. We're drawing the right hip back and the outer left hip slightly forward. The tailbone down, lifting the belly, and either stay right here, or you're going to keep the left arm up and reach the right arm out and around, internally rotate it, back of the palm in the middle of the back. We're just going to play with finding our Gomukhasana arms. So if you can't quite connect, gently come out, find your strap, and you can use your strap to connect, or you can keep the arms up, or you can try your eagle arms, but make some choice for just a few more breaths. We're in the pelvis, we're in the shoulders, we're grounding through the feet. We're breathing, and then releasing your Gomukhasana arms. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, hands come down, frame the front foot, step back, find your plank. Come forward, elbows in, halfway down, Chaturanga. Over the toes, open the heart, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And just land right here inside yourself. And then bring the feet together at the back of the mat. Keep the hips even. Inhale the left leg up, three-legged dog. So notice that left hip might really want to pop up automatically. So at first we just see if we can keep the hips somewhat neutral, equalizing right to left in the hands. Then press down in that right foot strongly, root down to open the hips, stack them, maybe bend the top knee, and then play with curling your tailbone back and under, externally rotating both hips, opening up. Can you keep that as you re-extend that top leg? Slowly bringing the left hip down, even with the right. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, come forward, knee to chest. Look down, draw the knee in, round the back. And then use all that space you've just created to step forward, long lunge. And then move the left foot a little bit to the left, bring your back knee down, and then slightly turn that left foot out, come to the knife edge of the foot. Make a choice, block or no block. Bring yourself down on your forearms, adjust your knee, your hips, your block, and then can you yield? So obviously there's a little bit of ways that we need to support ourselves even here. We're holding the integrity of the pose, but there should also just be some allowing, some letting, some relaxing in. So see what you can find. See where your breath is moving. Is it moving up in your body? Is it moving down? Does it feel easeful? Is it a little bit jagged? And just noticing. One more breath here. And then slowly coming off your block or your forearms, straightening that left foot, frame the front foot, straighten the back leg, make sure you've got hips distance between your feet, get stable, and then inhale, come on up, Crescent Pose. So we're drawing the left hip back, slightly bringing the right hip forward. We stay and breathe. We're bending more and more in that front knee, lifting the lower belly, drawing the tailbone down, enjoying. And then we're going to keep the right arm up. We're just going to open the left, internally rotate, reach around behind, and we're going to play with our Gomukhasana arms with or without a strap. Maybe you'd rather do eagle. Maybe you'd rather keep your arms reaching straight up or some other variation, but just be here and breathe. Eyes on the horizon. And then whatever arm configuration you're in, just inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Walk the back foot in, feet together. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands come down. Tadasana, mountain pose. Really nice. Okay, let's turn the long way on our mat. Let's have a block at either end, just in case. We're going to do some of our standing poses, and many of us can benefit from having blocks. So starting in the center, finding your Tadasana, Then we're going to spread our arms. We're going to spread our legs. Really wide stance, 3.5 to 4 feet. Start with the feet parallel and draw your tailbone down. So it's already going to open the front hip flexors, right? And now we're just going to turn that right foot straight out, parallel to the side. Turn the left foot slightly in, and then really make sure you have heel to heel alignment. It's going to give our pelvis some extra room. Take an inhale, drawing the pelvis under, and then on an exhale, starting to bend into your Vira 2. Warrior 2. You might need to adjust your feet a little bit. Look down, make sure that knee is opening over the second toe. We're rolling these left ribs back. We're looking maybe out over the front fingertips. And then notice, for most of us, if we're not paying attention, there's an anterior tilt, right? Our tush is sticking out a little bit. So the work is to keep drawing the tailbone down and under. You'll notice it'll bring a lot more work into that left hip. And as you stay there, can you really push into the back leg? Equally front and back leg, maybe sit a little deeper. Relax the shoulders. See if you can feel the heaviness, the groundedness of the lower body. And then rising from there, the quality of lightness in the upper body, out through the arms. One more breath. Then we're going to stay right here. We're just going to lean forward. You're going to find a block and place it some height inside that front leg where you can have a flat palm and really bend that right knee, maybe to 90 degrees. And then turn that top palm forward and reach it overhead. And can you press that right palm down into the block and use it to twist open? Turn the belly up. Draw the tailbone long. Find those long lines of energy. And then inhale, slowly come back up. Warrior 2. We're going to straighten the front leg. Make a choice about the length of the stance for Trikonasana. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Bend both knees. Can you draw the tailbone down here? Keep the tailbone drawing down as you re-straighten both legs. Ground through the feet. Reach your arms out. Now slowly we're going to reach out. So these hips go back. We're grounding in the back foot, right? We're not letting all the energy dump in the front foot. Keep grounding through that back foot. Reach out as far as you can. And then find your block or shin, Trikonasana triangle. Little bit of softness in that front knee. Notice if all the weight has shifted into the front leg. Can you move some of it back so as you press in that front foot, you feel the transmission of energy through your pelvis out into the back foot? Maybe the gaze is sideways or up. And then we're going to internally rotate that top arm, reach around behind, and we're going to play with a bind. So you might just have your hand around your waist. You might find some shirt. You might find some inner thigh. Stay here or maybe reach that bottom arm out. See what's right here wherever you are. Both feet grounded. If you're reaching, bring that hand down. Now look down. We're going to stay bound if we can. If this is too hard for you, you can bring your left hand to your left hip. Bend that front knee. Find your block. Step your back foot in a little bit, and then you're going to launch into your bound Ardha Chandrasana. So ground through that standing foot. Really straighten that back leg. Flex the foot like you're standing on that wall behind you. Draw your tailbone under like we did in that three-legged dog. And when you're ready, add the top arm. Can you ground through the right foot to open that left hip up? Stack it above. Reach out in all directions. Maybe you look sideways or up. And then slowly rebend that standing leg. Can you gracefully just come back to your warrior 2? Straighten the front leg, hands on the hips. Now we're going to turn that back foot out a little bit, easier said than done. And we're going to slowly come into our side squat. So Skandasana, go slowly. Some people, this is about right. Some of you might be able to go a little bit lower. Stay at your edge. We're looking for the inseam of this right inner thigh. A little bit of this left inner thigh, just like when we started at the beginning lying down. Just take a few breaths, drawing the tailbone down, breathing. Now, just as mindfully, these are our beautiful hips and knees. Use some support. We're just going to turn to the back of the mat and find our long lunge. Knee over ankle. Get steady here, and then you're going to reach out a little bit. You can use your blocks or hands on the floor. We're going to come up into our supported Vira 3, Warrior 3. So both legs super straight. Hug your hips in. Stand on all four corners of that left foot. Strong, straight back leg. Reach the crown of your head forward. Now we're going to bend the standing leg, curl the tailbone, start to bring that back leg through. Can you use your core? Whoops. It's a real question. Come on up, just like when we were lying down, our Apanasana. Stand, get steady, and then maybe extend the arms, the foot, take up space, reach, and then slowly let it go. Hands come to the heart. Whew. Wow, kind of tricked myself on that one. Let's see what the other side is like. So standing, starting in Tadasana, coming back in, reaching the arms out, finding your wide stance. Start with the feet parallel and draw the tailbone down already. We're already working against that anterior tilt. You want to turn the left foot out parallel, back foot slightly in, and find your heel to heel. Again, draw the tailbone under, inhale, and on an exhale, start to come down into your Warrior 2. Might need to adjust the feet. And it's good in the beginning just to look around, right? Can you see that left big toe inside the knee? Can you press in that front foot? Feel energy move through the pose into the back foot. Roll these right ribs back. Maybe bend a little deeper. Gaze out over the front fingertips or somewhere else if it calls to you. And just be here and breathe. Grounding through the feet, sending energy down, receiving energy back. Drawing the tailbone down. Now stay right here. We're just going to lean forward, find a block, a height inside that front foot where we can use our flat palm, really press down, draw that left hip in and under, turn that top palm over, bending towards 90 degrees, and then the press of the palm to help turn the belly, the heart up, maybe the gaze, reach, breathe, and then slowly press down to come up, straighten that front leg, make a choice about the length of your stance, hands on the hips, and bend both knees for a moment, and again, draw the tailbone under, see if you can keep it there as you re-straighten your legs, pressing into both feet, re-extend your arms. Then we're going to let the hips shift back, but we're not going to dump all the weight in that front foot. Keep some awareness in that back foot, softness in the front knee. Slowly come down, find your Trikonasana triangle. Press that back foot down to externally rotate that back hip. Open the chest. And then we're going to internally rotate that top arm. Reach around, see what you can find. Keep drawing the tailbone down. Keep some softness in that front knee. Maybe stretch the bottom arm. Breathe. Maybe bring that hand back down. Now look down. Make your choice with your top hand. You're going to bend that front leg strongly. Bring your block. Step the back foot in a little bit. And then launch, pressing down. That hand's right under the shoulder. Both legs straight if possible. You can have a little bit of softness in that standing leg. And then, can you root through the bottom foot? Stand on the back wall. Open that top hip. When you're ready, open the top arm. Welcome to lift the gaze sideways or up. Take up space. Keep drawing that left hip underneath you and back. One more breath. Then bend that standing knee slowly. Gracefully come back. Find your Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, hands on the hips. And then turn that back foot out a little bit and go slowly. We often have one hip that's tighter than the other. So for example, this is my tighter hip. I need to come down really slowly to keep it aligned. Listen to when your body needs to stop. You can point or flex that left foot. And then just see what's right here. And then slowly, with support, take your time, right? We're changing the orientation of the joints. Come to your long lunge. Get stable here on that right foot. Reach out a little bit. Root down through that foot to come up into your supported Warrior 3. Virabhadrasana 3. Hug the hips in, both legs straight. Make sure that that back hip isn't lifting. Lengthen the spine. And then you're going to bend the standing leg, bring the weight in the heel, draw that knee in. Come up standing, clasping the knee, the shin. Just like when we were lying down. One-legged Tadasana. Get stable here. And then if you'd like, unfurl like those beautiful ferns up here in the mountains right now. Take up space, one more breath. Slowly bring it down. Tadasana, mountain pose. Really nice. Okay, we're just gonna play with a few more little things before we start cooling down. So this is where I'd love for you to take your blanket or your towel and make a roll to place under your feet. So we're gonna start in Malasana, which is a nice squat with some support under our heels. So even if you're someone whose heels can reach down, just try it with this support first because it's yummy. So turn the feet out a little bit to start. The knees can come out. Let the tailbone drop down. So here's a wonderful place just to find length through the spine and come right back to the breath and see what you notice with the inhale and the exhale in your pelvic floor in this nice squat. And just notice we're in a squat with some external rotation in our hips. So that's going to give us one sense of breath. And now what I'd like you to do, because we're just experimenting, is actually bring your feet parallel, your knees parallel, squat down so that your knees aren't opening. Hands come back to heart center. And now come back to your breath and see what you notice. Right, so there's no external rotation in the hips. So our pelvic floor isn't being sort of crunched closed. It may feel like there's more space for your breath. So here's the invitation. This is a great place to stay. We don't squat enough. So you're welcome to stay here with knees parallel, or you can open them back out. And I'd like you to just connect with your breath and know this is really good for you. If you want to play with one more thing, we're going to play with Eka Pada Malasana, one-legged Garland pose. So both choices are beautiful. If you want to play with Eka Pada Malasana, you're going to move your prop away. You're going to come back to wider than hip distance, feet flat. We're going to come back to our squat. It's a little bit more intense without the support under the heels. So just see what that's like. Then stay here, but you're going to extend the left arm straight out, fingertips down, and you're going to keep connection between this tricep and the inner knee. And you're going to inhale the right arm up and just find this wingspan. So the tailbone's drawing down. Now stay here. You're going to reach a little bit forward with the left, internally rotate and reach around, back of the palm against your hip. So first, and then you're going to reach around with your opposite hand and connect. Some of you are going to want to try this, but your hands don't quite reach. And that's where you would use your strap. So see if you can, if you're playing, see if you can find some kind of clasp. And if you feel like you're at your limit, whether you're using your strap or you found your fingertips, just stay here and breathe until you want to come out. If you want to work on the standing part, you're going to look down, lift your hips as high as your knee, and then you're going to sidewind your right foot in so it's right parallel with the side of the mat, right underneath you, and you're going to come to your left toes. See if you can get the weight in the right heel. Bend that standing leg, and then you're going to use your core, just like we did a minute ago, to stand slowly. Maybe flex that left foot as soon as it comes from the floor. It helps to stabilize that leg. I'm very wobbly today. And then play with standing, straightening your standing leg, drawing the tailbone down. Really have to find a root here so we can extend up like the tree. And then just as slowly, keeping that rootedness if you can, coming back down into your Malasana. Right, each time we come to our mats and practice, we learn where our body is today. So some days we're shakier than others. No judgment, just awareness and love of, oh, the being is doing this today. So let's see what the other side's like. So we're going to extend the right arm out, fingertips down, keep this connection between the tricep and the inner knee. Reach that left arm up, find your wingspan. Be right here. You're going to reach further with the left right. Internally rotate, reach around. Maybe you need the strap, maybe you don't. Find this connection with the strap or the fingertips. Be right here. Stay here, or again, lift the hips to the level of the knee. Sidewind the left foot in so it's parallel right beneath the hips. Walk the right foot in, come to your toes. So hug the hips in, and then you're going to ground through the left. Use your core like you're pressing your tree root down. And the more you root, right, this is the principle for our lives. The more we root and ground, the more freedom there is to expand and reach. So we have to work on the grounding first. See if you can come tall, relax the shoulders, and then using that root, right, send your awareness down in that foot. Slowly come all the way down. Really nice. Let's just stand up and shake it out. Holding a lot of tension in that grounding sometimes. And let's bring our feet a little bit wider than hip distance, turned out slightly, a bend in the knees. And let's do a gentle side to side. You want to gently slap that inner opposite shoulder with your palm. Little breeze, little freedom. Slow it down. Come center. And then let's bring our feet so they're parallel, still a bend in the knees. And let's inhale, gently reach, keeping a bend in the knees, and exhale, just forward. Inhale, fling up. Exhale, fling down. Do a couple more of those with the breath. One more, really sigh it out as you come down. And slowly come back up. Keep the bend. Just bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Check in. What's right here? This aliveness in the middle of the play. Blink the eyes open. And so we're going to come to Virasana, and we're going to play with a mudra. So Virasana on a block for most of us. 1 block, 2 blocks. The block can be at any height between the ankles, and then you're going to sit the sacrum down. So you're really rooting down on that support. Bring your knees as close together as you can. See if you can get all 10 toes down. You might sit on 2 blocks. Some of you can probably sit without a block. And then I'm just going to show you the mudra we're going to take. It's called the Shakti Mudra. So here we go. So Shakti Mudra, very grounding and powerful. So we're going to take our thumb inside our hands like that. You're going to take the index finger and the third finger and just roll them down over the thumb. And then you're going to press the, that was the pointer finger and the middle finger. Then you're going to take the ring finger pad press, pinky pad press, and you're going to press the knuckles and the pads together. So one more time, in, down, press, press, press. Shakti Mudra. So if you please, in your Virasana, bring your Shakti Mudra to your heart. Just gently press against your sternum. Close your eyes. You can rest your inner arms against the sides of your body. And just be right here. Notice inside yourself, grounded, gently rooting down, but perhaps a lightness in the aliveness up above, up through the crown of the head. Stay soft. Just staying inside, eyes closed. Just let the mudra melt so your hands can just come rest on your thighs. Just see what you notice when you release the mudra. And the palms open and rest up or down. Noticing what you feel, what you hear. And blink the eyes open. Thank you. So we're going to come down on our back, bend the knees, feet flat on the floor. Just take a breath here in constructive rest. And then let's draw both knees in, bring the flexed feet up, and let's find our full happy baby. We've earned it. Drawing the knees down, back of the shoulders pressing down, back of the head resting down. You can stay still, or you could gently rock side to side, or you could pretty much do anything you want. Coming to the end of our journey, cooling down. What is it like to be in this body now? What is our state of being, of awareness like now? If you're rocking, coming back to center. Slowly releasing the feet, letting them come down. Take a moment here, giving your weight to the earth. And then let's find one of our blocks. Let's do a sweet little inversion. So press the feet down just enough to lift your hips to slide the block the long, low way right under the sacrum with the natural curve of your back if you can. Reach the arms out to the side. Draw the shoulder blades underneath the back of the heart. And then if you feel stable and you'd like to lift one knee and then the other, just make sure you're stable on the block. And then you might gently extend one leg and then the other straight up. Straight-ish, right? Not ramrod straight, gently straight. Again, see if you can find that natural curve in the lumbar. It's not a big arch in the lower back, but we're not flattening the sacrum. Maybe close the eyes. Maybe drop right in here again. Maybe just bring your awareness to the breath. Notice how it's moving in you and through you. Maybe again, seeing if you can notice that sweet response of the pelvic floor on the inhale and the sweet response on the exhale. Eyes soft, jaw soft. And then we're just going to bend one knee and then the other, and bring one foot down and then the other. Gently ground your feet, press into the earth to lift the hips just enough to slide the block out. Let the sacrum come down, land, notice, and then make a choice about your final pose. You could stay here. You could widen the feet and let the knees knock together. You could come classical, legs long. You might place something behind the knees. I might do that today. You might cover yourself. You might cover your eyes. You can always place something under the back of your head. If you're classical, reach the arms out, slight external rotation in the shoulders so the palms can turn up. Then any last wiggle, any last settling into some ease, because the work of this final pose is to utterly surrender into stillness. So last fidget, and then take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Fill your body up a little bit more. Sip a little bit more in at the top. Hold it for a moment. And then open your mouth, sigh, let it go. Shavasana. And then slowly bringing your awareness back in your body. So first, just the awareness. Maybe you notice there's a deeper breath. Take a few conscious, full breaths, filling and emptying the body. And then noticing if there's some small movement, wiggling fingers or toes. Maybe a stretch with the arms overhead. And when you're ready, bending one knee and then the other. Reaching your right arm out overhead, gently letting the knees fall to the right. Just find the sweet fetal position and pause for a moment. Keeping the eyes closed, staying inside. Gently pressing the palm, slowly coming up. The head is last to come up, and just gently finding your way back to a seat so your sit bones, your pelvic floor can gently find the earth. And from the base of the spine, the full length, rising up through the crown of the head, eyes soft and closed on the horizon. Just noticing how you feel. Thanking yourself for coming to your mat. I thank you for coming to your mat. And then joining the palms, just touching in gently, one to the other hand, bringing the hands into the center of the heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Be well.